the circle. Sorry. This is not you. I just want to say that I feel like this is just, even though it's a 3-week experience, this is just the beginning of the work that we're going to be doing together. And you guys, you know that I truly love each and one of you guys. Okay, take it away from my moments. Just playing. But I do. I love you guys. You guys are inspiration to each other and to me, you know, and that's why I do this work, is because of you guys. I look forward to this all year, just for this moment, these 3 weeks with you guys. I'm a little sad it's over, but I'm excited because I know I'm going to see you guys and have a better relationship with each and one of you girls. So thank you.
Aww. 1, 2, 3.
Girlfriends! 4, 5, 6. Sisters!
Along with Home started in 2003, and our first program then was called SOARS, a story of a rape survivor. And that program is based on Scheherazade documenting my healing process as a rape survivor. And because of the positive success of that program, we really wanted to do a program for teen girls. And the reason we were interested in doing that is because they're the most at-risk population, but they have the least resources.
60% of the students on the survey that we took before entering the program said that they're most likely to see a friend for help if they were experiencing sexual assault. And so this program trains the teenagers themselves to be sexual assault advocates in the community.
The most important thing that I have taken from this program is like sisterhood, like sticking together as one and learning how to make change, but together.
We learn how to deal with conflict, and from the neighborhood I live in, conflict is frequent. So really it's about not attacking it, but fixing yourself before you try and fix the situation.
We do lots of workshops with them in terms of sexual violence prevention, dating violence, sex education, in terms of learning about their anatomy and body. But we also provide them with tools in terms of self-care. We go to yoga studios. We have art therapy workshops. Any student that seems to be having emotional difficulty, we provide therapy for them prior to the program and also throughout the program. And so that again brings about like how the model about like you need to take care of yourself before you help someone else, and that's something that we're really strongly making sure that the students understand that being a peer educator is a really big deal, but more importantly to take care of yourself before you go out and help anybody else.
Well, one of the biggest things I think I've gotten from both programs is the role of the arts as both a form of activism and advocacy. Usually there's an under-attendance of men and minorities or people of color at sexual assault awareness events on college campuses, let's say. So we tend to have higher rates of both men and people of color. And I think it's this unique blend of like using the arts and using entertainment to talk about a really, really difficult issue. I also think it's useful with teenagers too. That's why you can get a group of girls who are interested in maybe generally talking about sexual assault, but then by the time they finish this 3-week program, they've made so many different artistic projects. And I think the combination of making art and using art to heal enables them to actually become advocates in a whole new way that they didn't even know was going to happen when they signed up for it.
It all really comes just to the forefront when we have this show, and I think just seeing their artwork, some of the girls, you see them really kind of struggling with the materials and trying to figure out, okay, how do I use this camera to say something? Or like this year, which is something totally new, this concept of using shoes to communicate something. How do I own this and like make this a way that I can communicate something? And then when they actually have the show, I feel like you really see them take it on as something that they own.
As I was walking down the street, rocking my hips, lip gloss on my lips, because I know that I'm the shit. I'm getting ready to go out, about to have some fun. Nothing can ruin my day, my night had just begun, until I walked past him. He was the kind of boy who stayed out day and night, the boy who stayed on the corner, and drugs was his life. I knew what he was going to say because I knew how he was. The boys like that in my dictionary never gets no love. So what does he do? He go against my will. He liked what he saw in one of the little fields. He say, "Ain't no mama," but I keep on walking. He runs up behind me and say, "Bitch, I know you hear me talking." He smacks my butt and grabs my hand. I pulled out my mace and sped as hard as I can. I kicked him where it hurt as he started to bail. I run up to him and he started to yell. I said to him, "My body is mad. You don't just grab as you wish." Right. See, this is what happens to boys who have no consent.
Okay. I went to art therapy studio, and it was ran by a man named Dan or whatever. And he was talking, and like the whole time I had this image in my head of a butterfly, but like I didn't really know if I wanted to paint that, and it was in my head the whole time. And I had a vision that, like I just had this feeling that I was not gonna leave without unless I painted that painting. So the whole like aspect or viewpoint of the picture of the painting is that the bottom part is dark, very, very dark. Most of the colors are dark, and then as it gets bigger, the colors get lighter. And it's a human, but it has transparent wings, so it's a butterfly trying to get out of the negative and reach the positive.
We would like to create a program for boys, and a program in which we educate boys to be peer leaders around sexual violence, dating violence, sexual harassment, called a Male Allies program. And we would like to expand Girlfriends into a longer summer project. It's 3 weeks now, so whether it's a month or 6 weeks is something we're interested in. And also creating a curriculum that people can use throughout the country. So we have a Got Consent campaign, which obviously is very big. And so that's just sort of like it's an international campaign to end sexual violence. And so that's more of like an online petition database, just get people like revved up to end sexual violence.
Yeah, and giving people the tools
to
do it in their own communities or neighborhoods is important for us. Using like this idea of art, education, advocacy, and healing, as a curriculum.
When the girls actually finally learn to trust each other and like actually make this bond over like a 2-week period of time or a 3-week period of time. And once the showcase come, you actually see how close they are because they actually don't want to lead a program.
During the interviews, when we interviewed the girls this year, those were the moments where you were like, okay, so something about this program is working, because like Quay and Lanisha, they would sit down with the girls if the girls would say something maybe in the interviews, and it'd be, instead of me or Miss Tillett saying something to the girls, it would be Quay or Lanisha, and they'd say, you know what, something I really learned last year is that what happened to you isn't your fault. And, or I really learned that you can open up and trust people, and just like seeing them do that is just really meaningful, and you just feel like what you're doing has an impact.
Thank you so much because it really, I would say, changed me. And I'm not even like, I was like set in my ways. I like know, like, I know who I want to be. But when you like go through something like that where you get a different side to a story, it really makes you think twice about certain things. And if you think about something a certain way and somebody come tell you their life story, because everybody has a story, it really changes things. So I really want to say thank you, because this is a grand experience.
I would say you have helped me to become a bigger person and help other people, and I found who I really was. Like at first, before this program, I really didn't have time for myself.